Hey, what's up? How are you guys doing? This is your girl, Valli with BSJ Real Estate. Today is Wind Down Wednesday, and this is my first Wind Down Wednesday in the new year. Last year, I kicked it off with just giving you all a little bit of information about myself. I know you guys didn't know a lot of things about me. Some of you didn't, but anyway, so we had fun right before the new year started. But here we are in 2021, and we got our first Wind Down Wednesday, and I have a guest speaker with us tonight, and I thought it was so appropriate for just kicking off the new year in being how to master your own life. And that includes me, right? Because the guest speaker is also my life coach. Her name is Tracey Knight, and she goes by I Am Tracey Knight. So let me tell you a little bit about this powerhouse sister, because she's powerful. But before I do that, let me just give a shout out to all of my sorors. It is Founders Day, so happy Founders Day. Amen. It's just a blessing for that. So, but let's talk about Miss Tracey Knight before I bring her on. Tracey, background about Tracey. I'm going to read a little bit because I didn't want to miss anything, because she's a powerful sister, right? So who is Tracey Knight? She is or offers a global personal empowerment company that basically offers career and lifestyle solutions to help individuals reach their next level. Not only is she I Am Tracey Knight, she is also the owner of InView Solutions that provides government and commercial clients solutions that help their organization solve problems, improve operational effectiveness, and optimize team performance. Tracey has been very successful in her journey as a life coach and a business owner. She's helped some very well-known organizations such as the 100 Black Men, Porsche the Car, Spelman College, National Cares, Susan Taylor, SunTrust the Bank, etc. She's done some amazing things, and I'm so excited to have her on as a guest tonight. So let me not delay any further, and let's bring on Tracey Knight.
Hey, Val.
Hey, happy Founders Day.
Yes.
Woo, woo, woo. Hugs and kisses. So one of the things I didn't say, but I will go on and say it now, but I wanted to wait until they saw your beautiful face, just in case they could see the resemblance in us. Tracey, not only is she my life coach, but she is also my first cousin. Our parents are siblings. So my mother is her father's brother, right? Did I say that right? Yeah, they're sisters and brothers. Did I say that right?
No.
No, I didn't say that right. Okay, let's back up. Right. Anyway, you know what I mean. So, but before we get started, they're brothers. Let's just say that they're brothers and sisters. Okay. So, but before we get started, Trace, since this is Wind Down Wednesdays, I have a new wine that I'm drinking tonight. So let me show y'all. This is 19 Crimes. Can you see? By Snoop Dogg. It's called Cali Red. It's actually pretty good. So it's a red wine. It's sweet, but it's a little dry as well. But I'm going to just give it a shot anyway, because I kind of like sweet wines, but I'm going to try it out because, the girl came from California, even though I'm originally from Ohio. So get a shout out to my Cali folks, because we love us some Snoop Dogg, right? All right, Tracey, welcome to Wind Down Wednesdays. So your book, first of all, how to master your life, right? That's huge. You and I talk about that all the time in coaching sessions that I have with you. But it just sparked me to want to share your amazing book called It's You Against You. I love this book, right? The principles. So for those of you that don't know, one of the things about the books, it talks about 40 principles on how to help you master your own life. And as Tracey would say, and she will share with you, it's time for you, me, all of us to take back, transform, and win at your own life. So while I would love to have shared all 40 principles, we don't have time for that. but I picked out 3 principles that I thought were just perfect for this setting today. So here we go. Let's get started. So Tracey, why don't you tell us a little bit about what is mastering your own life? What is that about?
Yeah. So thank you for, first of all, for having me on. This is such an important topic and it's pivotal in this day and age. I love, 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 love working with, I work with men and women, but I especially work with women. And what I figured out is that I work with women who are like me. They are what I would call sheroes. They are inspirational, influential women who have a lot going on. They are women who they have families, they are leaders in their family. Family members come to them to help resolve issues. So they're leaders there. They own their own businesses or they are working within a company, whether or not they have the title or not, they still are a mover or shaker within that organization and they make things happen. And then they may be in civic groups and religious organizations. And the point is that in every area of their life, they kind of show up as this powerful person. And they're often called upon. And these women want it all. They do. And they can have it all. They want a great partner and amazing sex and money, to be able to provide for themselves. And they want their children to be financially secure going forward, and they want to look good and feel good and to be in their right mind, and they want to be acknowledged for the contribution that they're making, and they want
Right.
peace and they want joy and they want all these things. But in reality, the reality of it is that when day in, day out, what is really showing up is they're working harder than they ever thought that they would. They are
Like
actually
yeah.
they're working harder than they ever thought that they would, and they never seem to be able to catch up. These are the women who give oftentimes more than what they receive, but they're often called upon to solve problems because they make it rain. They really do. But they're on the verge of burnout because they're juggling so many things. And when they pay careful attention, their relationships are just kind of so-so. And so what they do is they end up defaulting to things like overeating or drinking or drugs, alcohol, shopping too much, binge watching, etc. And so when we talk about mastering yourself, mastery is about creating an unshakable core within you that no matter what circumstances are going on around you, and what we know is that life is coming for you. Life is going to bring
Absolutely.
inevitable, ever-changing dynamics.
Yes.
And you have to be solid enough internally that no matter what is happening, your core is not shaken to the point where it shakes you apart. And here's the last part of it, Valli. Not only does your core need to be solid to really live the life that you want and to have all those things that were just listed, you have to be able to enjoy every minute of every single experience. And that's what self-mastery is about.
So that's why I'm a work in progress. Am I not in our sessions? Because I'm always, like, how you doing today? I don't know. I'm ready to get in the corner and cry and fall apart. And other days like today, I'm like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I might wake up and be like, oh no. Like, well, now what's wrong? Yesterday you was good. I don't know. So
yeah. Because the core is because a lot of us have a core that is not solid. We have a core that is fluctuating based on what is going on outside of us.
Yes.
And so when the weather changes or the economy changes or somebody does something, it shakes our world, and all of a sudden we end up, we down here.
Absolutely. That's funny you say that because there's so much going on in the world today. Yeah. I mean, we're shifting presidency. We saw the unfortunate things that just happened at the Capitol. Stimulus checks are going out again. people are still losing their jobs, but I'm hoping and praying that we are on an uphill and coming out as we have the vaccine. People don't know if they want to take it, they're not going to take it. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world today. So, which is why I was so excited thinking about the very first speaker being you to help set the tone, the mindset of getting our minds right. Because when your mind is broken, then your spirit becomes broken and it's hard to function. So I'm so thankful that you're here. So let's get into the book. So again, the 40 principles. I cannot share with all of the principles, but I encourage each and every one of you that are viewing, get the book. It's a great book. It's an awesome book. You will not be disappointed. There are 40 principles, and after you apply, so the concept from the book is you read the principle, and then there's some activities that require you to do some homework after you've read that principle, and then you apply self-care. So before I get into just picking up a few of the principles, Tracey, just give us a little bit, just to make sure I touched on that correctly. Applying the principle and then applying the self-care as we begin to learn to master our life.
Yeah, so the book has 20 self-mastery principles. So there are 20 things that tend to oftentimes come up as we are on this journey to revealing ourselves to ourselves. And it's things like perfectionism and procrastination and sometimes shrinking, like not really honoring your truth, but kind of shrinking, if you will. But there are 20 of them that are there. How do you overcome fear? Becoming being a people pleaser, so they're like 20 self-mastery principles. And so as you are tackling one of those self-mastery principles for 40 days, not all of them, just one, because what you're really doing is you're really going deeper to pull out that thing, that one obstacle that is keeping you from realizing your greatness. You're tackling that one thing that serves as a continuous barrier that keeps putting you back into that spiral. So that can sometimes be very confronting, which is why I encourage people to do it as a group. There are a lot of women who do this as a small group so that they can support each other. And then in addition to that support are 20 other self-care principles that are in the back. That because we have one of the things I know about women is we're always giving out, but we don't always wrap ourselves in love and in care. So those 20 self-care principles are just basic practices that we want to make habits in our life, because your habits, your behavior creates your habits, and your habits create your character. And this journey,
one more time. Say that one more time for them.
Yeah. So let me go deeper. Your beliefs are creating your behavior. So the reason that you do what you're doing is because of a fundamental belief. So the book seeks to shift your belief system. And then it mirrors that with what behaviors, those are the practices in the book. What actions, what behaviors do you need to create in order to shift? Now, those behaviors, when you do it repetitively enough, consistently enough, that becomes a habit. A habit done over time defines your character, whether or not that habit is a supportive habit or an ineffective habit in your life, that defines your character. So your character always shows up in what you do, not what you say. So say-do ratio is very important. When what you say and what you do mirrors, and it's a healthy way, then you will start to see growth and progress in your life. And your character determines your destiny.
I love that. Y'all, for y'all that's listening and watching, this is why companies like the 100 Black Men, Spelman College, the National Cares, Susan Taylor, SunTrust, Porsche the car have hired Tracey as a person that knows her stuff. She knows her stuff, and you could hear that today. Let's jump into the book just a little bit. You're welcome. Let's jump into the book just a little bit. So one of the principles I just would like for you to kind of give us a little bit is honor your truth. To honor your truth. What is that? To honor your truth.
So most of us spend most of our time lying to ourselves. We're very dishonest with ourselves. And that's because sometimes
yes,
to face what is reality, we've not really lived in a world, as you can see by the current political climate, we've not lived in a world where we are very direct and honest, transparent about what is real. Now,
Mm.
real and truth is two different things. Real is, that's just the facts about what is going on. What becomes truth is how you really relate to it. There's truth at every level, but truth is more or less like, how do you relate to the realities that are going on? What we want to do a lot of times is to create fantasies out of things. Let me give you some examples so it doesn't feel so ambiguous, if you will. But let's just say that you're in a relationship. And in fact, one of my clients was saying this today, like, they were in a relationship and there were all these signs that the agreement that they had together, which was to be in a sexually exclusive, or what one would call, let's just say, a sexually exclusive relationship, there were signs that that was not the case for her partner, that he was not committing to that. And so some of the realities were showing up, but she wasn't really willing. She was creating a fantasy in her mind about what was really going on. So a lot of times we don't tell the truth, and that's about our job, about what is really bothering us. A lot of times we're holding on to things, and so we deceive ourselves into believing that it's one thing and it's really something else. And so that keeps us from being authentic. And here's the biggest thing. Every time we lie to ourselves, every time we deceive ourselves, every time we don't keep commitments to ourselves, we slowly but surely chip away at our own self-esteem and our own self-worth. So if you really want to get, and then it's hard to, when it comes time to apply for that promotion or to start the business, the very person who needs to lead that endeavor, which is the person who's staring back at you in the mirror, you can't trust him or her because they have not shown up and told the truth. Think about how you relate to people currently who don't tell you the truth. Do you want to spend time with them? Do you go to them for advice and counsel? Do you trust them? Do you trust that they are dependable and will show up? Well, the same is true with yourself. If you've not shown up for yourself, like, let's just take, there are a lot of you who have probably created these New Year's resolutions. Okay, I'm sorry, we're going to call them goals. But you and I both know a goal actually has some key deliverables that go with it. Goals have timelines attached to them. They have accountability systems put in place. But oftentimes people will start New Year's resolutions, and then by the time you get to the end of January, first part of February, things start to teeter off. And they're falling off because we really don't have the habit, and we are not able to trust ourselves because consistently over time, one, we've not learned how to develop habits. Number two, we've not learned how to manage ourselves. And then when it starts to happen again, you begin to see like, well, I'm not going to really do it. So then it's time for you to start that business. You're starting it with a person who has very poor follow through and follow up. And that's not a judgment or an indictment against yourself. As a coach, what I'm here to do is to help you get yourself out of your own way.
Right.
Because
so
sometimes we don't even know we're doing that.
It's funny you talk about the mirror, because in your conference, before Corona and all this crazy stuff, the You Reveal conference, that exercise we did with that mirror. And I still do that today because that was the first time, and you don't really think about it, but that was the first time that you look in the mirror as a woman, you put your makeup on, you washing your face, doing your lipstick, but you really just don't hold a mirror up to your face and just stare in the mirror, and you force yourself to look at yourself. If you've never done that, I challenge you tonight, tomorrow, when you have time, just pick up a mirror and look in the mirror and just look at yourself. You'll be surprised the things that you start thinking or seeing about yourself. It's a really powerful exercise, and I thank you for sharing that. So let me get to principle number 2.
Well, and Val, before you do that, let me say this, because this was a principle you really wanted to cover, because in that exercise, and this exercise of being on the journey to self-mastery, this is really about reclaiming your relationship with yourself. The relationship that you had when you were a very little kid, a toddler, is when you probably had the best relationship with yourself. And this mirror begins to help you reclaim that relationship. to learn how to see what is really there, what's in reality, and to ask yourself, ask and answer the questions in truth about what it is that you want, what it is that you believe you deserve. How are you going to get there? What are the decisions that you've made that did not work for you? Are you ready to step away from them? So it's that type of work that begins to shift the relationship that you're having with yourself. And then it turns to that the next principle, which is to become your own BFF. And that when you become your own BFF, that's when you're really able to move and shake.
Look. Hey, it's some serious stuff, right? So then honoring yourself, becoming your own BFF, almost kind of, we touched on it, is all of that kind of, not in a nutshell, is it's you against you. You're fighting your own self. You're your own demon. You're your own enemy.
All the time. You are actually your greatest ally, and you can be your greatest enemy. And that's the thing, because people are, when you're asleep to it, I mean, I could get into a very long explanation, which I won't do right now, but there's an aspect of ourself. It's not really an enemy, and I probably need to change the language on that. But basically what we're saying is there is a part of you, which I call your humanness. I've named mine Lacey. She just wants to keep me safe. Your humanness wants to keep you safe. So she doesn't want to, or he or she doesn't want to put you in situations that are painful, that are uncomfortable, that are confronting for you. And so what she'll do, even if she has to lie to you, deceive you, she will keep you from taking risks. She will keep you from speaking up for yourself. She will keep you from telling yourself the truth, because she doesn't know the outcome. And so she wants to just keep you safe, because your survival is her greatest, is her primary concern. And
or so she'll make you say words like "but," because that's one of my favorite words you always say. But I always say but she's like, there you go, man. But
this is how she does it. I get it, but I get it, but
I'm working on myself. I'm a master. As you say, what in the book it mentions, you never, mastering your life never really has an end. You just get to another level, and then you keep mastering to get to the next level, which I love that. A master in the making. Yes.
We are all masters in the making. And because I really want for people to understand that this is a game that we are playing. And the more you can shift, your mindset to begin to realize that this thing you call your life is a game, and you are the all-star player, the leader, the starter in your game. And so every person you meet, every circumstance that you're in is like a playground. And so those people are there so that you can hone your skills, just like LeBron James hones his skill by dribbling the ball against other people. You're doing the same thing, but you're doing it in the way of communication, building trust, fostering bonds, being an influential leader. So that's the equivalent of throwing up hoops or defending against, a defensive play. It's the same thing that we're doing in all of these relationships that we have, both in and outside of the workplace. And so it never, ever ends until you leave this earth. So the more you can have fun with this and really think of it like, oh, there I am. Let me see how I'm going to show up this time. Let me see how masterful I can be in this. Let me see if I got the lesson. I know how I showed up last time with this. I didn't communicate effectively. I wasn't direct enough. Let me see if I can practice being direct and compassionate at the same time. So all of these relationships give us an opportunity to really practice being the next best version of ourselves.
Love that. The last one that I wanted to pick up out of the book is progress, not perfection. That's me.
Well, Valli has
told you, I've stopped a lot of times and not doing things that I know that I'm fully capable of doing because my hair not perfect. The website's not perfect. You don't need no website. You're trying to start a business, just get going, right? So, but you always want it perfect. And perfect, sometimes you never get started. Or better yet, for a long time, I was in what do you call it? Analysis paralysis.
That's it.
Woo! Had that real bad, real bad. So let's talk about that before, and this would be our last principle for the night.
Yeah, so progress, not perfection, is a big one. I want you to know that all of these principles I selected because they are me. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely consider myself a recovering perfectionist. And what we don't understand, first of all, perfectionism and procrastination are really the same. They're two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
Okay, they're two sides of the same coin. The procrastinator, even though that's one of the principles in the book, but the procrastinator a lot of times procrastinates because they want to get it perfect. So they delay until the last minute to get it done. Okay. The perfectionism is you keep tweaking, or mentating on it, thinking it through, trying to make sure all the T's are dotted. I mean, T's are crossed and I's are dotted. And what really this boils down to is the question in our mind of whether or not we have what it takes. In other words, are we good
Mm,
enough?
mm,
It really boils down to that.
Look, drink on that one.
So it really boils down to that. And the answer, as we all really know, is yes, you are. But remember, I told you that your humanness, she doesn't want you to feel pain. So she doesn't want you to be disappointed. She doesn't want you to put yourself out there and you're going to be disappointed. But the reality of it is, Valli, that it is only through that level of vulnerability of just revealing ourselves and putting ourselves out there and being willing to make mistakes, being willing to fall down, like this is your first show with a guest, and just willing to have little kinks fall.
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, this is like committing to every other Wednesday, wind down Wednesday. A lot of people don't know. They think, oh, she's always doing this and it's easy. And it's not easy for me because this is very new and out of my comfort zone. But I want to be more intimate and get to know people. I want them to get to know me and deliver a lot of good information that I receive and just be able to share that. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
So it is really through the and I'm gonna just go a little deep with you. It is that willingness to be vulnerable is what creates the deeper connection with ourself and with our higher power, because your higher power
Yes.
lives within you, and that spirit, it lives within you. So by being vulnerable, you basically are teaching yourself how to trust yourself. Remember, I told you earlier, this mirror is beginning to help you establish a relationship with yourself, a close
Right.
relationship with yourself. It's repairing the trust with yourself. So every time you take a risk, every time that you, let me put it like this, every time you take a risk and you listen to your intuitive self, that spirit that is guiding you, you are starting to learn how to mend those bridges that have been breached. So the perfectionism doesn't exist, and it actually is a form of self-hatred, because we set ourselves up for something that is impossible to accomplish. And even when, I can guarantee you, when we get off of here, Valli is going to talk about something that maybe didn't go quite well. Well, now she won't do it because I'm saying this, but typically, typically what'll happen is she might say, well, we weren't broadcasting on enough channels or something. Instead of us focusing on the things that really went well, and it's okay to later on say,
Yes.
hey, well, how can I level up with that? Now I did that well. Now, how can I level up even more? Not so much about, well, this didn't go right, and I don't know why we didn't do that. That's a different mindset. And that's the perfectionism bug that keeps us feeling diminished. That's what keeps us feeling bad about ourselves. And that's what keeps us from trying new things, building the business, stepping into relationships, um,
Building partnerships.
working with people, because we're gonna fall down, we're gonna make mistakes, there's gonna be a little friction. But if you're committed and you're convicted in being your best self, then you'll find a way. We'll work it out.
Gotta make a way. He's already making a way.
He's
We just too
already
busy
made
want
it.
to be in control.
Yes, for sure. And
Awesome.
all of it is about controlling, is being controlling. So yeah.
Well, I would love to go on and on about all of the awesome principles. We covered 3 of them, so that leaves 17 left, plus the self-care, the 20 self-care principles that are in the back of the book. But I love it because when it starts in the book, well, I'm not gonna be able to show it, but it starts off with a thought process, like something to ponder. And then she calls something called faith your fear. I love that. And then being inspired, and then you go through some of the activities, and then you pick a self-care principle to incorporate into your self-mastery principle. It's an awesome book, and I just thank you for allowing me to share the book on the show today. Thank you, my soror, my friend, my cousin, my coach. I love you, and thank you so much for being here today. And I just congratulations on all your success, and I'm just so honored to have you in my life.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up, how do we wrap this up? How do we wrap up it's you against you? It is. It's so simple. It's you against you. It's so simple. All of us. Look at yourself. Get you a mirror and tell yourself it's you against you. Every time it don't work. But what does that mean, Coach? Break it just
So
as we wrap this up.
What we want to do, the short version of it is we want to make it you for you. We want to get you working on your team. That's it. And, I had asked Jennifer to really share this with the group, is that we are offering a couple things. I would love to hear from you, so that I can teach you how to master yourself. And it begins by revealing yourself to yourself. So if you click on the link that Jennifer posted, it's a sure link, and that's going to, enter you to win a free t-shirt. This is a part of my product line that says, being me, it's a lifestyle. And that's what we're really showing you, is being yourself is a lifestyle, and that's for the entire life. So you can enter to win a t-shirt. We also have some mini vision coaching sessions so that we can get clear about the direction that we're moving in for 2021. And it's with that clarity that you can begin to build and begin to see, well, where do I need to make my first step, and then focus on building that habit. If you want, you can also enter our 13-week group coaching program, which is called Get Out of Your Own Way. Very intensive program. You'll be coached by me in a small group setting of somewhere between 4 to 10 people. We meet every week for 13 weeks. And that is a transformational program for sure.
Absolutely.
And finally, we invite you to get the book. You can go right to the link, and it'll take you to our website, and we'll ship it out to you. And then I'm also offering free 30-minute coaching consultations, and you can sign up to have one of those with me.
And hopefully, if you all get blessed enough, when COVID is over and she offers her You Reveal conference again in live, where hundreds of us gathered to hear Tracey speak and coach us, we're just so thankful.
Yeah, thank you. We are putting on You Reveal this year. Just stay tuned for the date on that. It's pending, but and that is a women's conference. So we've turned that into 100% women's conference, because women are confronting some unique experiences in this day and age. And so we want to make sure that we're supporting them. Men, I'm working on something for you all, but right now I know that some of the women, they need some additional support, and I want to be there to stand in that space.
Awesome. Well, Tracey, thank you for joining us. This is your girl, Valli, with VSJ Real Estate. This is Wind Down Wednesday, not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. Please join me. I will have another guest speaker, a CPA, and he will be educating us and talking about taxes. It's tax time, how to properly prepare your taxes, writing off certain things on your taxes, not writing off too much. Some of us got those, or people got those stimulus checks. People got those loans from SBA. So it's going to be a hot topic. So I definitely want you to tune in, not next Wednesday, the following Wednesday, for Wind Down Wednesday with Valli. All right. Love you guys. This is your girl. But you know what I'm going to say. If you need to buy, sell, or rent, let me know. I'm here for you. Casting off. And see you guys next Wednesday. Mwah. Love you. Bye.